In today's YouTube video, I'm gonna be showing you guys Mitsurugi in action and how good this deck is. We're going straight into it. Let's go, baby. Now, one of the biggest things about Mitsurugi that makes it so damn good. Now, we are playing a lot of good cards that help Mitsurugi, stuff like Nadir Servant, Engine, X Ryzel Engine, 1 Ice Ryzel. We prefer to normal summon this card. I'm gonna go all in depth about this deck, everything you need to know. Do you guys want to know why? Because I'm a YCS champ. What does that mean? That means I'm one of the greatest players on this planet. What does that mean? I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about this deck right here, right now. But I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe. Also, I want you guys, if you want to learn really a lot about this deck, make sure to go check out my master classes down below or sign up for one-on-one coaching, and I will do that for you guys. Also, the play ultra play match are back in stock. Every one of them from the beginning of time. Go check them out. So let's get straight into this. And this deck's insane. It plays around hand traps so well. And I'm setting this hand or this way chronological order of my cards right now, where if he were to hand trap any of these cards, I always have Feral Imps to continue or Duo Drive. And what the Ryzo cards offer for this deck is a second line of action where you're able to go into Duo Drive if you want to get Ryzo combo, but it's just a minimal amount, very minimal. Playing 3 Bonfire, 3 X, 1 Ice, 1 Sword, 1 Node, 1 Plugin. Not even playing cross, like 0 bricks. And plugin in this deck is extra good because of Feral Imps. And the idea of this deck is you want to go Feral Imps Turbo basic. Over here, what we did now is Kusangi is going to get this a ritual back, and the Serpent special itself anytime it goes to deck, from deck to grave. The only brick per se is Night Serpent, but it's fine because it triggers many times. Additionally, Night Serpent, when it goes to grave, it's a free level 4. So it's like a level 4 extender that you can get to the grave via the rituals. And for the first time at Mitsurugi deck, what the Mitsurugi deck does here, I'm like, instead of plugin, I'm just going to search Node because we have no way to access X. So I'm like, I don't really need plugin right now. Plugin's good in this because you get to get Feral Imps back or Eclipse back. And what they do, so this card, basically, the second you summon Mitsurugi, Ako, Mamana, Morocco, Mitsurugi, the second you summon that card out there, you're able to play around hand traps very well. So if they Veiler you or Veiler the Duo Drive, or like if they Veiler the Duo Drive, this means so they discard an extra card. So they Veiler the Duo Drive and they get rid of a free card. This card eats hand traps for breakfast. Additionally, if it gets nibbed, this deck is almost nibbed because as you're playing into your combo, if they nib you at any time, this card tributes this card. So then you're able to add a card off Murakamo, distribute the special, then its other effect trigger to destroy a nib and any Bestial they might have on the field. This card's unreal, and they're going to be left as so little cards. So it almost hand loops the opponent the moment they try to interrupt with you. You're gonna go Mitsurugi Ritual to ritual that out for this. That card engraver trigger will to get negate out. Additionally, this card, anytime my opponent special summons, whether it's a Bestial or a Nib or something, well, not Nib because it'll be off the field, but I'll just retribute the special itself back. On the opponent's turn, this card is not once per turn. I'm able to resummon as many reptiles from my graveyard as possible on my opponent's turn, including this card, which will be a Regeki on the opponent's turn. So you're gonna get X, and anytime my opponent hand traps me, I don't care. I literally still feel this is very Nib proof, but I feel we passed Nib already. And we have 6 cards in hand. Here we're gonna go Twins of the Eclipse, we're gonna go Node, Descend Twins, trigger Feral Imps, get a free search again. And the only problem, I'm just gonna switch up the zones because it's just a better play. We're just testing. Gonna get detonated. The only problem with this deck is that there's not enough zones to summon everything in, which is a cool problem to have, if you ask me. We're gonna end our turn here with the Veiler and Ash in hand, a crazy follow-up in hand. And one of the craziest thing about this is an infinite negates, basically, as you're gonna see who my opponent plays. So with no grave, like we're not playing Phoenix within here, it's just Mitsurugi pure. I'm viewing Ryzel as almost pure. A minor Ryzel engine just basically to turbo up Feral Imps to play the pure version. Once you have this setup, Ame and Futsu, it's incredibly tough to lose with the trap card. In addition, with Detonator, offers that extra proof basically. So now when your Imperm gets Detonator, by the way, in the new Twins of the Eclipse out, you just Detonator your own card. You just Imperm, you Detonator your own Detonator. Twins of the Eclipse will trigger, resummoning Detonator. Pretty damn good if you ask me. So that will get us a free Detonator. The moment we're playing against Ryugi Swordsoul, which is a very cool way to play Swordsoul, especially with some new cards. The second Ryugi the card gets activated, then our Ame gets triggered. So when your opponent activates a card or effect, activate this effect, your opponent can discard 1 card or this card's negated. So he opts to discard a card to make our card, we don't Detonator yet, discard the useless form, and then when he activates the effect of Misfa, we're going to use Ryu's Detonator to pop the card, thus making him lose 2 cards for nothing. He's going to go into Moye. I could Detonator this, and basically our whole board will just stop it. I could, he's at 3 cards, bro, from, like, just like that. We could Futsu, we could trap to negate this by tributing this. This card will then trigger and special to get rid of the Moye, but I'm just saving that for anything big. I mean, I have Veiler in my hand. This alone on the field, anytime you special, like, even if we let that resolve, you do so much. And your turn with about 6 cards in hand because all your reptiles trigger and they get their effects off. It's actually a really, really, really good deck. I'm extremely surprised of how it's been playing so far. Here, we're going to Ash the opponent, and you are going to have some hands like this where you open basically, it's a 2-card combo deck, which is something different from what we played. If we had 1 more reptile in hand or 1 more Ryzel card, you're able to do so much and push through 3 hand traps instead of 2. However, when this gets stopped in a scenario where it's the only starter, it's like drawing Pydra basically with all double hand traps and like a Fadra in a weird way, if that makes sense. Like you have one way to play. However, if you're able to play a little bit like Hyman, for example, get Genroku and summon out that Fadra, so this ritual is very good. I still need to play multiples of it because obviously you play through stuff, but we did need just one more. That's okay though, because we do have double hand trap to stop our opponent, and basically any card we draw is gonna have so much advantage. We let that go, and what we're gonna do now is get X. We know 2 cards in his hand, and the aggregator will chain block the Ryzel if he has Ash, allowing the card to resolve. Now we're gonna go on to match number 2 here. We win match 1 against Swordsoul Ryugi, and here we have a really good. This is an amazing replay. I like to watch you guys. This is the deck going second, and this deck going second is absurd, especially when you're able to pair Mitsurugi Prayers with Mitsurugi Marakamamo together. It's an unbelievable combo because basically the Regeki effect will always trigger. He accepts the Fuwalo's challenge, but I understand why he accepts the Fuwalo's challenge. He's gonna end on like almost an unbreakable board with Macrocosmos on the field, Imperm on the field, Shishao in addition, Varudris, Blackout, Hand Trap, and the Ryugi interruption, and the Longyo. This is about 8 interruptions he's gonna get. So I totally understand why he did that, and he has great follow-up with Taye. So I totally get why he did this. Like he let me draw a few cards. However, he's gonna have a crazy end board, so I totally understand. We're gonna go X into Aggregator, negating that, adding Sword. He allows that to resolve. We're gonna activate the Prayers. You're gonna Varudris. This is okay with me. This is totally okay with me. X Riser should be banished, by the way. Totally okay with me. We're gonna Prosperity. I'm just trying to get him basically bait a bunch of his cards. Druid Swarm will help me interrupt something a little earlier, but because this card's a Macrocosmos, it's an unreal amount of interruptions here. 2 from Varudris, 1 from Misfa, that's 3. Shishao 4. Long Yuan gets 2 interrupts, that's 6 interrupts. Blackout, which is a crazy interrupt, 7. Macrocosmos 8, and this is an Imperm. You have 9 interruptions on board right now. That's as many cards as I have in my hand, but that's fine. We're gonna go Prosperity here to get the Maximus. Maximus is absurd in this deck because you do not, once you use your Ryza stuff, you never need your extra deck again. So whether you're, whichever engine you're playing, I highly recommend playing 3 Nadir and a Maximus. The Fiendsmith version is a little difficult to play that in simply because it's so tight, the extra deck, but in this version, I'm not playing any Fiendsmith. With the Ryza stuff, you're just playing a few forwards, it's easy. Maximus offers such a crazy push. Even if you just hard draw the Maximus, it's not a brick. Hard drawing the Maximus, like eventually when you X Ryza send, you have like Maximus live after. So it's actually an unbelievably good card. As I'm going to show you guys as I'm going to play here. I'm going to get this to get that. Special effect of so good. And there's so many intricacies of this deck, which I'll explain in the deck profile at the end of this video after these 2 amazing replays. We're going to normal summon that Sword Ryzel there. He's going to black out both of these, which is fine. I wanted to summon Druid one, but I really can't. It won't have much value. We're going to summon this up, and we're going to chain block to pop both. Now I want you to see something cool here. I'm going to go Chainlink 2 Futsu, which these trigger anytime they're tributed, and this is Regeki Chainlink 1. So you can't stop the Regeki, but he is going to want to put this as 0 attack because he wants to, stop me. I'm going to negate that. Like he's going to be forced to discard one or negate, because I could see a line where I can go for a game here, where if he doesn't negate this, I just summon this, summon Maximus, Druid, Special Ice, and that's game once he's Regeki. So I'm about to OTK through the 9 interruptions, but he actually opts to discard a card to negate that effect. Cool with me, because now that means that he's 1 card less in hand. I'm still going to Regeki his whole board away. So everything gets Regeki'd, and this card will be at 0 attack. That's fine, because I'm going to tribute it eventually anyways. On his turn, I go Maximus here, sending Entez and Herald. I'm under Prosperity, otherwise I would have sent Garura, or the draw 1 card, so I could basically draw 2 under Maximus is pot agreed. All the Maximus cards are pot agreed, Nadir or Maximus. Here I get Herald and Entez to pop his follow-up with that card, so one of his gone. Herald's gonna get me a ritual, and just like that, I'm gonna be able to attack. I'm under Prosperity, so I can't kill him, so there's no point with Prosperity. If it wasn't Prosperity, I still might be able to kill him. Then he's gonna go summon Brodos right in this specific scenario, to which he's gonna get hit with a very Fact Veiler. I can do a bunch of stuff, forcing him to, he specials the card from Banish. I negate that with this. Doesn't want to discard his card, which is fine. It's just a free, like, interruption, basically. Then I'm gonna summon that, and then immediately I'm gonna Mitsurugi Prayers, tribute Mitsurugi to re-special it back. I'm gonna add a free card, 2 free cards actually, and then that will, add that for free, and then his specials back. Veiler, Protoss got Veiler, Regeki, everything. I have 5 cards in hand, bro. How did that happen after he had a 9 negate board? Like, I still had 6 cards, and I know Fualos, blah, blah, but I had 3 cards I didn't even use whatsoever. We're going to the last game here before we go on to the deck profile, and just like that, he's gonna go Moye, he's gonna have full stuff. I have double Perulia this time, but he's gonna do a very cool play where right after a double Perulia, clearly he could Long Yuan. I would rather get rid of this Perulia, which would be absolutely useless on my turn, and make sure he doesn't summon another Synchro 10, because he was probably debating it. After he saw double Perulia, he's like, fuck that, which he still has a really good board of Shishao, Blackout, Veiler. That's still very powerful. We'll see if it'll be enough for him. So I'm gonna play this one very smart. I want to play around the Blackout's gonna really hurt us here, obviously. This allows it now where he Veilers and Blackouts and triggers his Perulia. So the Perulia is gonna be huge here. If it wasn't for the Perulia, we were good, because we would have actually been able to set up a lot of stuff. We're gonna summon that out. I could put up go for duo drive. You're gonna see a line here. You could call it being the opposite of ballsy, but I opt to not go for duo drive, even though I should have. Like you see here, he has no hand traps. I'm happy with my play. I go for the safe play, because I know that a Swordsoul hand cannot deal with a detonator, and like he can't kill me throw a detonator. He'll end on some shit like one interruption, like one Shishao or one Synchro 10 interruption. I don't give a shit, right? So the way we play this instead is I'm just gonna do some damage. Next turn I'll go for game, and I wanted to get prayers in my hand for follow-up, because look at this follow-up. I have 0 cards in hand when I set this prayer, okay? I have 0 cards in hand. Swordsoul is like, it's a good deck and all, but it can't kill. Detonators like that card deck's like biggest problem. So I'm gonna do a whole video on Swordsoul myself. I'm gonna go detonator to pop the Moye and then summon token. Like, this is gonna be such good value for me. All I need to do is survive, and I'll show you why. I'm basically popping everything I see. The second the Synchro 10 comes out, I have one more pop to go. In this scenario, I'm gonna go Mitsurugi prayers right away to tribute that. I'm gonna add this to hand. I'll take 1600, 800 from this and 800 from last, specialing this, triggering now Saji and Kusanji, both of them. I'm gonna be able to get both spells in my hand to start my turn and a ritual. What I have in my hand right now essentially guarantees if he doesn't end on 3 negates, he auto loses. Obviously, he's not ending on 3 negates here. Do you see the power of detonator? Like, this card, it won me a YCS, bro. This card's absurd. Here, he doesn't want to trigger to pop that, so he actually does not use Shishao effect. You prefer to banish the blackout to make sure he could go into a Synchro 10. I will not allow that because I'll just simply pop that. So it was the same result for him, saving a card in deck basically, and then that's game. This is the replay, and quite frankly, I think this deck's absurd. It's still not fully fixed in the sense, it's still not solved. I'm sure there's many cards we can play. Don't worry about 48 cards, 42 cards. That's a myth. As long as you have a high percentage of drawing 2+ defensive cards in this format, you're fine. I prefer a post side deck gets 3. So we're playing 3 Saji, 3 prayers, 2 of each ritual. You will miss the rituals if you're playing 1 and 1. You want them in the deck, because the way that the ritual spell's worded is you want basically, you always need 1 in deck to be able to make sure both effects resolve each turn. You want to resolve both effects of Mitsurugi ritual each turn, like your turn and then your follow-up to kill them. So you actually do need 2 of each, which is fine. Only 1 Kusanji. It's not the best card, but you still need it in the deck. It's fine. It's not bad. And Serpent, I think Serpent might be better than Kusanji to be able to summon itself to the field big. Both are big. Still play them. They're fine to draw, because if you hard draw, like, you just ritual them from hand if you need to. That's fine. 1 trap. 1 Prosperity is also great in the deck. Nadir is great in the deck. Maximus is great in the deck. All 5 of these are great in the deck. And the Ryzel package is very good in the deck. All of them. Like, all of them are basically starters, and it's a 2-card combo deck. So the idea is basically draw 2 of these 29 cards. You don't plug it, except for the 2 of 29, just not the trap. So basically 2 of these 30, that's not the trap. And you're gonna be able to put up a lot of interruptions. Draw 3 of them. You can play through 2 hand traps and still have full combo. So it's very good, and I like how it's done. And if you're able to play, your follow-up is better than a Flamberge that gets its effect off. Like, the follow-up's absurd. Still playing 18 hand traps because you need to this format, and you're playing 24 hand traps with 2 talents post side deck, which is quite high. That's 26 defensive cards going second. And then for the extra deck, playing 2 Fair Limbs, 2 Twins Eclipse. It's not a Ryzel deck, guys. We're almost specifically playing Bonfire and X in the Ryzel just for X Ryzel. You do not want to normal Ice Ryzel too much. You'd much rather normal summon this card, but sometimes you normal summon Ice Ryzel, so it's still important to play 1 of. And the special effect comes up, 1 of each fire. You don't need to play cross. Again, you're not playing a Ryzel deck. And then 2 Twins of the Eclipse for sure important. 1 Detonator, 1 Duo, 1 Aggregator, 1 Typhon, 1 Lizard Rose. When you're not locked in Ryzels, you get a free draw basically every time, and then you go straight to SP. That's the Link 2 plays. You get a free draw with Lizard, then you go into SP. And this card comes up as well. You can get a card to be a 0 for free, and then just get a free ad when you're playing specifically with the reptiles. 1 Herald, 1 Entez, 1 GOOOOO, 1 Fairjit, specifically for the Nadir play. And this, if you hard draw Nadir, you get 3 of these 4. If you hard draw Maximus, you get 2 of these 4. And of course, it's dependent on going first or second, which ones you want. They all come up. 1 of each is very important. 1 of each is legitimately very important. You don't need the extra deck, so who gives a shit? That's a video, guys. This deck's actually overperformed so far in my training, and I'm gonna train more of this deck because it might be legit. If it is, I'll keep you guys updated, and who knows, I might even take it to Orlando because no one will know what they do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to learn more about this deck, let me know in the comments, and like, comment, subscribe. Check out the one-on-one training if you guys want one-on-one coaching. It is expensive. It's $100 an hour. However, if you guys want more cost-effective training, there's the master classes for Ryzel and for Tenpai, so check those out. And if I do believe in my heart Mitsurugi is going to be one of the most powerful decks, especially after the second wave of support comes out, I will be doing a masterclass on this deck too. If I believe it, it is incredible. If I don't think it's a tier 1 deck, I will not. Thank you guys for watching the video. See you guys next video. Peace!